The age at which a woman gives birth is not fixed, and the age at which man dies is not fixed. Welcome to another episode. We continue from where we paused in the last episode, and it was I understand they were restricted in their movement there, that's in Holland, and therefore it was not a likable journey. We continue. Namshi. April 14th, 2008, I reported at Tamale West Hospital from the Public Health Lab, PHL, located at the Central Tamale Teaching Hospital. From the Public Health Lab. The lab wasn't opened until November 22nd, 2008. In other words, there was no lab. If I was sent there, but there was no lab. It's not functional. The room was there to as a lab, but it was not functional. No lab at all, no equipment, nothing. November 22nd, 2008, because the private lab there had not closed down yet. Yes, there was a private lab there manned by or managed by one veterinary doctor, Dr. Akreku. Because the private lab there had not closed down yet. When I reported for work, they said, okay, fine. Now, if there is a technician, we have to do away with the private lab and let West Hospital lab belong to West Hospital. That's to Ghana Health Service. However, my pay slips went to Gushago rather than coming to Tamale, whilst Fifi's pay slips went to Zabzugu. You see the mess. I was supposed to go to Gushago because of going to Holland. I was removed from there, but the evidence is already there because my pay slips was going there. That's officially it was there, and Fifi's pay slips were going to Zabzugu. Look at the confusion Joe Larry caused. Mess. And they caused that mess until my salary was stopped. I said, we'll get there. They caused that mess until my salary was stopped, and I've been suffering up to today. Up to today. However, my pay slips went to Gushago rather than coming to Tamale, whilst Fifi's pay slips went to Zabzugo. Imagine the confusion the corrupt Joe Larry had caused. Yes. After letters were written to Accra from Tamale, my pay slips were diverted to Tamale after some time. Fifi had not stopped seeing Joe Larry. Gushago is a much smaller town compared to Tamale, which is a regional capital town. After returning from abroad, he now wanted to come to Tamale so that I could now go to Gushago. Imagine, after the correction, whereby my payslips were now coming to Tamale and he's to Gushago, Sule Zabzugo, he now came and was bribing Joe Larry so that I will now go back to Gushago, which he didn't like, but went because of Holland. So that I will now come back to Tamale, and then I will then go back to Konogo. Look at the way people behave because of Joe Larry, as if I were an animal. He now wanted to come to Tamale so that I could now go to Gushago. When it was not happening fast, he came to me personally in the lab at the West Hospital. Full stop. In Gushago, he could not understand the Dagbani language. He is Asante or Akan, and therefore he would like to come to Tamale, so I go to Gushago. Is it now that he's seeing that he cannot understand Agbani? When he was going there because of Holland, he could not understand Agbani, but that didn't matter. Now, when he worked and worked and worked and it was not working, he now came to me to persuade me to go accept to go back to Gushago so that he will now come back to Tamale. I want viewers to see. They think they were pushing all these things under the carpet. It will not come out. But God the Almighty has instituted the internet. And now I'm exposing these things. There was no need for him seeing me. If it had worked, I would have just been there and Julia would say, go back to Goshago and let you. But it wasn't working. I don't know whether he didn't give him sufficient money or something. I don't know. Viewers, can you imagine this? Okay. And therefore, he would like to come to Tambale, so I go to Goshago. And did he think I would accept that? Yes. He sees himself just like Joe Larry as a much cleverer and smarter person than me. Yes, corruption blinds the eyes and blocks the mind. Little do they realize that I only see them as block minded, good for nothing pair. Yes, let me say that. Let me read that again. Little do they realize that I only see them as block minded, good for nothing pair. That's he, Fifi, Kofi Amponsa, Samuel Kofi Amponsa, and Joe Larry. He, the pair. Okay, paragraph. The lab assistant, the lab assistant Joe paired me with went, the lab assistant Joe paired me with in West Hospital was Abdul Rauf Adam. Abdul Rauf Adam. So he was to be my lab assistant. Somehow, somebody told me he was only brought there for the two of us to fight. In other words, don't let him manage. Say, I'll send you there. Go and fight Sule. So he will not go through his probation. Look at the mind somebody has. Somebody came and told me, he said, he's sending Rauf here. His purpose is to let you fight. To let you fight Rauf. So he would provoke me so that I'll fight. So I will not pass my probation of 1 year. These are the people managing Ghana Health Service. These are the people managing Ghana Health Service. That is what they've got to learn. Evil, treachery. Okay. Uh, for the two of you to fight. It turned out to be precisely that. All I can say about him is dishonesty and pomposity. That's about Adam, Abu Rauf Adam. All I can say about him is dishonesty and pomposity. When I tried to check him, he gave me a couple of slaps. When I tried to check him, he gave me a couple of slaps, as the following letter will depict. Oh, I don't have the letter. Okay, it will be red letter. He was removed to Savulugu after a committee was set up by the regional directorate to investigate. Joe Larry, who had always been witch hunting me, replaced Rauf with a higher officer than me, so he would push me out. So he would push me out. Yes. When I say higher than me, not necessarily just because they call him technologist and I technician. But basic qualification, he doesn't match me. You go back to the basic O level, he doesn't have me. It doesn't. It's not near me. And A level, he doesn't have. Okay. But because they call him technologist and me technician, I accept that he's higher than me. and he takes more money than me. No problem. Okay. Uh, Replace Rauf and a higher officer. I put higher officer in inverted commas. I put the higher in inverted commas. Than me, so he would push me out of West Hospital. He was Don Kwesi, a biomedical scientist. The following letters would tell would tell his true character and the tactics he employed. The letters will be read later, inshallah, of God willing. Lest I forgot, even the time he reported, I think it was October something to, I can't remember quite. Let me not misquote. Lest I forget, I didn't move. I didn't move to the West Hospital directly from the public health lab. Joe Larry had sent me to the hematology lab. Yes, Joe Larry had sent me to the hematology lab and the blood bank at the teaching hospital. Of the teaching hospital as well. Yes, of the teaching hospital. The atmosphere was surprising, respectful, and cordial, especially at the blood bank, which was headed by Madame Christie. Yes, when I go and there are good people, there's no problem. Madame Christie was at the blood bank. She might be reading now. There was no problem with me. And they were blaming Julari, but they had no power. You see? Okay. One day, I informed her and others that I was going to the directorate. Yes, I was going to the directorate a far distance away, and I was going to walk. I had no money. I therefore left earlier than I left. I left. I therefore left earlier than 2 p.m. 2 p.m. I left earlier than 2 p.m. I think 2 p.m. was about break time or something, or closing time. I wanted to meet them at the office at directory before they would go on break, something like that. I therefore left earlier than 2 p.m. Outside the main gates of the Tamale Teaching Hospital, TTH, was Joe Larry sitting under a shed with a girlfriend. Yes. No work doing, nothing doing, just wasting away time. Was sitting, so when I was going to exit the hospital, he was sitting by a shed with a girlfriend. He was chatting with somebody or his mobile phone, just as he was chatting with somebody on his mobile phone. Just as I was to pass him, he stopped with the phone and called me back. Post and called me back. Where are you going? Is it time for you to close? That was his question. He asked. I am going to the directorate, I replied. Did you ask for permission? He asked further. So you can imagine, if I'm going back, if I'm going out of the hospital, what is your matter? How can I go out without informing anybody? Everybody knowing my character. Just get up. No, it's not their time for closing. I just get up, pack my room. See? That's to show off with whatever stupid girl he was with. Pardon me. Pardon me for involving the girl. Uh-huh. I'm going to the directorate. He replied, Did you ask for permission? He asked me. Yes, I told them I was going to the directorate. You asked for permission. You didn't tell them. Look at that. Look at them. And I told him that, I told them at the blood bank that I was going to the directorate. Chrissy, I didn't need to ask her for permission. We were cordial, like I say, all of them. I said, today I'm going to leave early. I'm going to the directorate. They knew my age. They considered me like it. That was all. Then he was now telling me before the girl, you asked for permission. You didn't tell them. I mean, stupidity. Only stupidity is full inside there, inside the skull. Mm. Viewers, pardon me for getting angry. Mm. You asked for permission. You didn't tell them. I will find out. He said he was going to find out. And indeed, he went there. We are reading. We are reading on. I will find out. Uh, mhm. I can't get this word, but let's see. I will find out. He said, yes, I will find out. He said, yes, I will find out. He said, I've gotten it. Hmm? Like I have stated already, we were so free with each other in the blood bank. I didn't need, I didn't have to do more than just tell them I was going to the directorate. All that harassment was therefore to impress his girlfriend sitting by him, was to impress his girlfriend sitting by him, that he, Lenga man, is in charge of me, who is looking more honorable. So if you want to tell him, look, he's looking more honorable, I'm his boss. Hmm? Okay, sitting by him. Well, after all that, I proceeded to the directorate. The following day, when I reported to work at the blood bank, Zachariah, a youth em- uh, national youth employed program worker, a national youth employment program worker told me, after you left, listen, after you left yesterday, Joe Larry came to ask about you. You can imagine. They were surprised when I left. He said, after you left, that's what Zacharias told me. After you left, Joe Larry came to ask about you. He said, and what did you tell him? I asked Zachariah. I told him you went to the directorate. Zachariah said, then continued. He asked whether you had asked for permission. And I told him, of course, you wouldn't have gone without so doing. I told everybody, look at that. So you can see that he was hunting me. He wanted a way to get me out. In the first place, he didn't want me to get into the Ghana Health Service. But by God's grace and prayers, when I got there, he vowed that he would get me out at all costs. And he contaminated Don Kwesi, with that kind of behavior. Because he was going to do it with Don Kwesi. Remember when he came, I said he's higher than me. He wanted to do it through Don, even after I left the teaching hospital, the blood bank. Uh-huh. Yes, I told him, of course, you wouldn't have gone without so doing. And so Joe Larry was a laughable character. Anywhere he went, people laughed at him. I remember we were in a workshop, he entered and everybody started laughing and behaving funny. Because as soon as he entered, the atmosphere felt everybody was looking around. We were looking at each other and looking at him like he was not a human being because they knew all these things that he was doing. Hmm? That is how stupid Joe Larry is. Yes, I won't say was. That is how stupid Joe Larry is. If he wasn't, how in the first place did Zach get to know I had gone to the directorate if I hadn't told them yes? So we went and asked him, so, oh, where is Sule? He said, he's going to the directorate. So he should have just stopped there. Then you go further to ask, did he ask for permission? Okay. Or was he only bothered by the word permission? So all that he wanted to use was permission. Was he bothered by the word permission? Joe Larry knew what he was doing. He tried in vain to prevent me from getting employed, accusing me of not wanting the Ministry of Health, MOH, by absconding to Nigeria. Now, you see, he said I didn't like the Ministry of Health because I left to Nigeria, and I was not the only one who left to Nigeria. So many lab men, professional doctors, lawyers left to Nigeria, and I'm the one he singles out. So if I wanted a job, why should I go to Nigeria? You see where he's coming from. Forgetting that, he equally left the Ministry of Health and joined the onchocerciasis department. Yes, he also didn't like Ministry of Health. That's why he actually left, because onchocerciasis department, they paid better. He didn't see that as leaving Ministry of Health. Onchocerciasis department, where he got scholarship to Britain to study. That was where his luck showed. Uh, Most of us had left for Nigeria by then. Yes, we were no more there. So if we also, many of us will remain there and join the onchocerciasis department, probably he was not the one going to get the chance to go to Britain. But because we left, and he was the only one left with the onchocerciasis onco department. It was somewhere after his return from Britain that he rejoined the Ministry of Health. So when he came from Britain, he then came back to join the Ministry of Health. The next line of action after I had been employed was to provoke me into fighting so that I would fail my probation. I would, I would fail my probation. My probation, a period. I couldn't get this word. It's a period. I was scribbling very fast. My probation, a period of 1 year as a restricted worker. Yes, when you are on probation, you are restricted. Mm. Well, I told Madame Christie the behavior of Joe Larry, and listen to her. Joe Larry went too far, she said. And that's how he's always been going too far. So he was a very funny man. He didn't look like the head. Imagine somebody passes by people and they start laughing. Madame Christie said, Joe Larry went too far, she said. This reminds me of an incident in his office, the public health lab PHL, prior to my learning, prior to my leaving there. One day he walked to me as usual, with some air of importance, and gave me some assignment that was done yearly in the lab. Yes, the assignment was done yearly in the lab, and it looked cumbersome. It looks cumbersome. Mm. Yes, give it to me. The way they were doing it, it was funny. Mm. It concerned some data. It concerned some data concerning hospitals and various kinds of tests over the 4 quarters of the year. The 4 quarters are January to March, April to June, July to October, then September, July to October, then September to January. Over 4 quarters. He directed He drafted the information on one plain sheet and then added 13 fresh plain sheets to me to work with. So he gave me the information on one sheet and gave me 13 plain sheets to work on. That way you take the quarters one after the other, each paper quarter. Each paper you take one quarter and you give the information, and then you subdivide the information, the various places. So he calculated to be 12 or 13, maybe he just added one sheet for me. And that's what they were doing. That's the way they were doing it. Plain sheet. And then added 13 fresh plain sheets to me to work with. To work with. Without doubt, all over the years, they had been using so many sheets. He, he, so many sheets. He and his assistant, Stephen Dono, or Stephen Danois, I think it's Stephen Danois, he and his assistant, that's how they were doing it, 13 sheets for that, to fill that information. I simply took out one of the remaining 13 sheets, and while in there on my se- while in there on my seat, I tabulated all the required information onto one sheet within 1 hour and gave it to him. So when he gave me 13 sheets, I asked myself, why this thing doesn't require 13 sheets? Why do you need 13? So I put all the sheets out, took one sheet out, put it down, looked at the information. The information that he thought would take 13 sheets, it could go on one sheet. And even that one sheet, not front and back, just like that. I made a table, put all on one sheet, and gave it to him. He simply thanked me. He took the rest of the sheets. No, I took the rest of the sheets, 12 in number, to my small boy, Ibrahim, at home. So you can imagine, because all that they knew is to strut and walk with with arms open, and bluff to women that they are my senior. This was when I this was when I wondered what sort of intelligence they had acquired by their further studies. Yes, they all call themselves technologists. Then what brain did they have? If some information can be put on one sheet, and inserted in their computer, why did they use 13 sheets? Waste of time, all of them, those who call themselves technologists. Stephen Danois was surprised, and he can bear witness, as I am reason he might view someday. He must view someday. Mm? He had acquired uh, what sort of intelligence they had acquired by their further studies. Simply put, they were not better than me in any way. I think I will manage to get those sheets later. So viewers, keep on viewing. I'm not always able to organize myself to read this thing in advance and then look for them because there's no time. I've always been busy. If they are honest people, they will admit this story. Mr. Danois was not known to me like Joe Larry. No, is it? No, is the word known? I can't. Okay, let's go on. I may get it. Mr. Danois was not known to me like Joe Larry. Hmm? The name of the word is Brown. Like Joe Larry. I got to know that he was my junior. I didn't know him. Yes, it's the right word. He was not known to me like Joe Larry was. I got to know that he was my junior of 15 years at the technical school. My junior of 15 years at the technician school at Kolebu, finishing in 1995 when I finished in 1980. Very good. During the time that I was supposed to go to Zabzugu on contract, I said I saw him after seeing Joe Larry in his office. Yes, I saw him after seeing Joe Larry in his office. After some time, Joe Larry called on phone from his office and hear what he said to Stephen Danois. So when I told Stephen Danoa I was going away, and Joe Larry as well before even Danoa, they thought I had no. Joe Larry thought I had left the office, and then I had left the lab, and then from his office he phoned Danoa, and this is what he said. Be very careful about him. Listen, be very careful about him. He is very dangerous. Yes, that's why I told Danoa. He thought I had left. Then he phoned me and took the phone and said, be very careful about him. He is very dangerous. Yes, I'm very dangerous because I won't take corrupt money. I wouldn't cheat patients. I wouldn't sell bottles to patients. Hmm? I wouldn't do private practice. I was okay with my money. So I am very dangerous. Now, who is dangerous? The corrupt person, Joe Larry or Sule, who endeavors to be upright and would not give him any bribe for anything. Yes, he somehow expected me to give him bribe or something. Before I continue, I remember one time there was a workshop organized by the Ghana Health Service, and this workshop normally monies are sent from abroad, I think. And after the workshop, we were all to collect 30 CDs or 30 CDs each. Joe Larry, after the workshop, decided to give us 20 cities and take 10 to him, for himself. So you would sign 30 cities. Imagine you would sign on the paper that is 30 cities. Then he would take the paper away. Then he will give you 20 cities. It's happening. Even today, it's still happening. Mm. Uh, uh, Person, Joe Larry or Sule Imoro, and would give him any bribe. Who would not give him any bribe for anything? Yes. Uh, so when it came to me, when it came to me, he asked for his. He was giving me 20 cities. I said, no, I won't take it. Add the 10 cities. I signed for 30. Give me 30. So how could he like me? You have money already. Somebody who is poor doesn't have anything. And look at the way you treated me. You're now coming. So all these treatments were, all this treatment he gave me was to make me fear him. When he does that, I'll keep mum and collect my 20 cities. I said, no, I signed for 30. Give him my 30 cities. Before he added my 10 cities for me, to me. Look at that. Hmm? Okay. Okay, viewers, I think we should pause here and continue another time. You see what I have gone through, but I don't think that Jolari is happier than me. Yes, I'm poor. I don't have money. Mm. I'm actually suffering. I had to sell my house and be renting a place, but God knows best. Mm. If I die without a house, I'm not going to be the first person to die without a house of my own. People have gone and left better houses. But for me to cheat people, to be rich, to build houses, big houses, no, it's not in my agenda. And may God never let that kind of idea be in my agenda any day, anytime, anyhow. Thank you very much. Bye bye. May God bless you all for